WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Nothing at all.
It is middle of June. We are 2 games into the Stanley Cup final. NHL Combine has
We're halfway done with the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, if Tanner is right. We are done with the NHL Combine. More draft news is coming out. Salary cap update. You know, we do have a lot to talk about. It's not going to be as like in-depth stuff that we want to talk about. It's going to be a lot of speculation on our end and playing what if. But hey, let's talk about it. And we're going to start with probably the best news that has possibly happened to the Blackhawks since they won the draft lottery to get Connor Bedard. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. I know what we're talking about. But
Chris Vosters.
I was going to say, do they know what we're talking about?
Chris Vosters is no longer the play-by-play guy for the Chicago Blackhawks. No more Bedard, Anthony, Hall, Jones, Shot. No more of that calls. It is okay to put on the volume when listening to games because the Blackhawks will have a team of Rick Ball and Darren Payne going into next season.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Like that. Don't even consider like the disdain and dislike of Vosters. Getting a voice like Rick Ball into the fold here is going to be awesome.
I just love the fact that, like, I mean, his name is technically Dick Ball. Fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, no, you can, like, people already posted clips of like calls that he's made, and you're like, oh yes, like it's gonna be so much better. And him and Darren Pang will will for sure have a better chemistry because this guy actually knows what he's talking about. So I can't wait to hear that kind of stuff too. Just gonna be so good, so fucking good.
Rick Ball comes over from 10 years of the calling Calgary Flame games. He was also like one of the teams for Hockey Night in Canada, would rotate in and out for those games. So he has experience. He knows the game. And like you said with Vosters, it's just, he wasn't a hockey guy before getting this job. And
which is so crazy that you can get the job without fucking knowing like a damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, in today's day and age with play-by-play guys, it's more of a freelance type thing where you need to know hockey, football, baseball, basketball, and do a little bit of it all. There's not like a specialty. And that's going to be interesting in like 10, 15 years when some of the older voices start retiring and all that, where it's going to go. But I mean, I will give him some credit, some credit. Like he did put in the work to try to get better. It didn't translate. I mean, it sucks for him. I mean, he seems like a good guy. Everybody that has worked with him has said good things about him. But in just terms of what the fans wanted and what the fans expect for an original 6 team, this was the move you had to make. Yeah,
absolutely. Because like we can't keep ushering in this new era of the Blackhawks with Vosters calling the games. It's very much reminiscent of the fact that like the Hawks had brought in Colleton after Q, and then now you have Vosters after Foley, where you're like, wow, that's fucking terrible. Like anybody's gonna be better now. When like, and it doesn't matter who was coming in after those guys, they were gonna be like, yeah, this is gonna fucking be brutal. So they went like down, and then they're like, all right, now we're gonna get back up.
We talked about that. Like he was gonna be the sacrificial lamb in the situation.
Absolutely.
But a huge thing too, like reports are coming out that Darren Payne kind of like had a say in this too. He's just like, it sounded like they didn't have the best relationship and like he just couldn't do it. And you could tell by listening to the Panger during the games and like just the 2 games that John Weidman called TV with Panger and the difference, 90-day difference with it. So it's going to be fun to watch Blackhawks hockey. It's going to be fun to listen to it again on TV.
Yes.
and we're gonna finally get some Bedard play goal calls that have calls are worthy and not just Connor Bedard scores.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you can't do that for his whole career.
yeah, there's like no iconic goal calls for him for his rookie season. I mean, his Michigan wasn't too bad, but I mean, yeah. So, yeah, all new, not all new, half new play-by-play coming into the season, part of the new network, and then also it sounds like that they are going to be reamping the pregame and postgame show too. So I don't know if that means just all new faces, if they're gonna have a couple people coming back, if anybody, if at all. I like that they're listening to the fans though. They're trying to take this serious, and they heard us complaining and not being happy, and they did something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're constantly trying to figure out like those roles, right? Like they brought in John Scott, they brought in did they have Bullock for a little bit? Like they
Not
had
Bowling, they had
Darling.
Darlene.
Well, they had Bullock like was doing what was it? Like is it the Hawks cast or was it something similar?
Oh, they might have had him come on. I never paid attention to those, like the second channel,
Yeah.
like the secondary one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
never
yeah,
really.
Darling, John Scott,
That was with what, Charlie
Rumeliotis.
yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they're just gonna keep doing that. But like honestly, like maybe it's not always worth it to just bring back like ex Hawks when
Yeah.
it's like they're not TV guys.
And then too, I think it's gonna be interesting because I think they have more say with the new network.
Yeah.
So I think it's more, before they were doing like, oh, NBC Sportsnet was saying you have to have XYZ. So they did the best they could to like figure out who fits that, where now it's like, okay, well, we can make our choices and we can put who we want in there. And I mean, I know I think Sharpie's doing something, but he was good. I always thought Burrish was good too. I mean,
Yeah.
there are guys, former players, if they want to go that direction, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
They both have really good personalities for that kind of stuff, which is pretty great.
So yeah. So Vosters out, Rick Ball in. Let's drop the puck and listen to some Hawks hockey. And some more news that kind of came out last week during the combine. Ben Pope of Chicago Tribune was talking about it, talking with Kyle Davidson and the topic of Patrick Kane coming back. And it's pretty much sounds like KD is sticking to his initial idea and sticking to his guns, saying that they made a tough decision and they don't foresee them going back on that decision at this time. I know there was a lot of speculation after his first game back at the United Center and just the absolute magic and just the love that the stadium showed for Kane, that he might come back. I don't know. I'm so torn how I feel about that.
I just, wish they would just change their mind on that.
Yeah.
Maybe not this season, but like maybe next year. Like I don't know. I'm gonna keep saying it. Like it's just a travesty that we are robbed of having Kaner and Bedard on the same Blackhawks team.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. I mean, the match those two could create together. But it's like on the other hand too, I understand wanting to move on, new era, like let these new guys control their team and not just default back to Patrick Kane. But at the end of the day too, where I'm kind of like, where I look at the other side, it's like, you're telling me Kane is going to be a negative effect on these young guys compared to just the revolving door of forwards they're bringing in.
Yeah.
For the rebuild. Like,
it's just, I guess the weight that he carries in the locker room is just what they're worried about, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm torn on that one, but hopefully 88 will be back. I mean, slowly starting to think it's going to be a 1-day contract and one last shift type of situation. But
yeah, and I hate that. I wish it would be like an actual season though.
Yeah. I still too wish they would honestly talk to Taves too. Like I
Yeah,
know
I don't.
it's not his same level, but it's just the
No.
mentor part for Bedard having that true 1C.
Yeah, have him behind the net or the bench.
Yeah, like just have him involved working with Bedard, teach him the face-offs, show him like mentor him in the leadership role. Like it's just that is going to be the difference maker right there. And I think they gave up a little too early on those two being a part of this franchise.
Yes, I agree.
So, other news across the league. This is NHL talk, but it also involves the Hawks. What we're going to talk about. Salary cap is officially getting raised, $4.5 million. So it's going to be $88 million with a floor at 65.5, I think. 65.5. Or no, just 65.
Just 65 even.
Yeah, just 65 flat. So that means right now the Hawks have just under 33 million in cap space, and they need to spend. Oh, this is different than last time I wrote it. 9 million, like just under 10 million to get to the cap floor. Unless I'm looking at CapFriendly, which might not be the best place to look anymore. Let me check out the new one.
55 is what they're at right now. The new one. Yeah, Puckpedia.
Yeah.
Hey, look at all this. I have to figure this out now. Jesus.
Yeah, how to find it.
Yeah, 55. So
oh, yeah,
just like 10 mil.
Yeah, just a little under 10 million. So the Hawks will have to spend, obviously. We kind of touched on it last week a little bit with Jake Guentzel. The Hurricanes made his signing rights available they're looking for a mid-round pick. Hawks have been linked to him. Is this a player worth trading a mid-round pick to get the signing rights, or do you want to take your chances and see if he's still available July 1st?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you'd probably have to get some sort of agreement from him, like ahead of time, to be spending that mid-round pick, right? Because like if you're gonna not have like a guaranteed, like you're gonna get him, then it's kind of pointless.
I could also see though the Carolina Hurricanes being petty and just being like, no, you got to trade the pick before you can even talk to him.
Yeah, then I would just wait and just be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna pay that. Just because like of the position the Hawks are in, right? Like we're not a competing team. He's not like a super old player or anything. And I know he's won some cups already, but he's still like a very big factor that can contribute to teams that are looking to win a cup. He's only 29.
Yeah, I mean he'll be 30 at the start of the season. But yeah, he's played. I mean, what he brings to a team is very valuable. Like, playing with Crosby, he has that leadership mentality and he knows how to get it done. So it's like he can bring experience. He still has youth to the point where it's not like, okay, riding off into the sunset. Let me just collect a paycheck here and call it a career. The thing is with him coming to Chicago is, can you convince him to take a 3 to 4 year deal, maybe overpay a little bit to get that close to that 3 year?
Yeah.
Or is he looking, like we said, he's going to be 30 at the start of the season? Is he going to want to get his last big ticket?
Right. Does he want to sign like a 7-year deal somewhere where they're going to be probably competing the whole time?
77 points last year in 67 games. So offense would be huge.
If we're just looking purely at like teams that, like, it's crazy to me that, what is this projected cap it? Carolina is going to end up being under the floor for like their cap. I'm surprised that they aren't working something out with him, but I guess they have a lot of other things on their plate that they want to prioritize.
So apparently,
like Nashville would be good for them too. I don't know what Vancouver's got. Let's see.
Carolina's got, I guess, a long-term deal with Jacob Slavin. Going to be announced July 1st, but I mean that still doesn't help their cap for this year because he's got 1 year left. Unless they're trying to keep, was it Neches? Trying to keep him, and they rather throw money at him than Guentzel, which I mean that's not a bad idea considering one's 25, one's 29.
Yeah,
and they have more leeway in negotiation. Consider he's an RFA versus Guentzel's UFA status. And they also have Tara Vinans available. Like, I mean, UFA, he's due a contract this year. I don't know if he's gonna
maybe fucking if you're Buffalo, would you trade Jeff Skinner back to Carolina? No. He's got $9 million. Actually, like if you're the Hawks and Buffalo's looking to unload Jeff Skinner's $9 million. What do you think?
How many years is Skinner left?
He's got 3 left.
Honestly, you toss in the 11th overall.
Yeah. And you give him the 18th.
Give him the 18th and give him what, like a Kurashev or
no, not even
Taylor Radish, right?
Oh yeah, you can take Taylor Radish. That's fine.
And that's the thing, like these contracts, and then I mean we can talk about it too, because Patrick Laine, it was announced today that Patrick Laine is looking for a fresh start. He's got 2 years left on his deal, $8.7 million per. I mean, those are the type of contracts that the Hawks, for the right price, should consider. I mean, it's in that window, 2-3 year window of, hey, we're not going to be good, but we're looking to get better. And you get a motivated Patrick Laine trying to prove himself.
Right. But what do you give up?
That's the question. It's what is Columbus? I mean, realistically, what could Columbus demand for him? Like he's coming off, he only played 18 games last year and he only put up 9 points. He missed a lot because he went into the player assistance program. He missed a lot of time the year before because of an injury.
Yeah.
It's like, what realistically can they expect to get in return for him? For a guy who's not played a lot of hockey.
Yeah, I don't know. How many games has he even played in Columbus? I guess, he's barely played more, like 3/4 of a season in Columbus. I don't know, yeah. But what did the Hawks have that Columbus would want?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the $1 million question, because it's like Columbus is in the same situation.
Columbus would probably want like the 18th.
No, I would not give the 18th up.
Yeah. Or maybe like a second rounder.
I would do second round.
Like the 50th?
Yeah.
That's still so low in value compared to, like, you'd have to throw in way more.
Give him next year's Toronto's protected first.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or Toronto's 2026 second round pick.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense just because this year apparently people are saying that it's like a weaker draft class or not as great. So if you
this year or the next year?
This year, which is crazy. I think it's just probably after like the first like 20 picks is maybe what people are saying, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But people are saying, I'm just saying, people are saying, I've heard things.
Hawks have 12 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 3 years, and definitely don't see them using all of them. So they'll definitely be used for trade bait at some point.
Yeah. And I mean, Columbus, I'm assuming they want to get better, right? Like they're not looking to fucking still be at the bottom of the league.
I mean, their
roster
should be better.
Yeah, are you really looking to move Laine for like more draft capital, or like are you actually looking to add roster players that can help your team get better now?
Taylor Hall.
Yeah, Taylor Hall.
I like how
They also don't they wanted to fucking move Elvis Merzlikins, or is he wanted to get traded too?
he wanted to get traded.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
The team just I don't know. They just what they got a new general manager.
Yeah, the guy from Carolina.
Yeah, and then their coach just had this past year. Okay.
Yeah, because he was the brought in last minute after the Babcock nightmare.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god. Yeah, the team needs like a refresh almost. I don't know. They had that really young line of like the Russian kids, and then also Alexander Nylander, who fucking just decided to go off for whatever reason in Columbus, of all places.
He's playing for a team that didn't have much to play for finally. So,
Well, he was just in Buffalo, or
true.
he started in Buffalo, and then he
Wasn't
went to
Buffalo though kind of
Hawks
like
in Pittsburgh, and
weren't they borderline when he was there?
no,
No.
no, couldn't crack a lineup on a team that like didn't do shit.
What about Connor Murphy?
Yeah, I'd trade Connor Murphy, but they have right defensemen like crazy because Damon Severson, who they traded for last year, good Branson, who they picked up at the same time they got Gaudreau, and then Boqvist.
That was such a dumb signing.
Yeah,
So stupid.
it's like didn't that lead them to making some sort of trade with Seattle? Yeah, they got rid of like fucking Bjorkstrom.
Yeah.
Or Bjorkstrand because they fucking spent too much money and didn't think that they were going to end up getting Johnny Gaudreau as well. It was stupid as hell.
Getting Johnny Gaudreau for under 10 is still fucking blows my mind.
Yeah.
For that market, I thought he would be like, yeah, I mean, at least 10.
No, he wanted to go there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Guentzel's out there. Patrick Laine is an option. I mean, one you can have for a mid-round pick
or just wait.
Wait.
If he wants to play here, you're going to sign him, and like all you're doing is probably overpaying a little bit.
The other one is okay. Let's go back to that then. What type of contract, as a fan, are you like feeling comfortable giving a player like Jake Guentzel?
How much was he making already? I do not. I can't figure this out on Puckpedia. I have to go back to CapFriendly.
So he was making $6 million.
Just 6 even.
Yeah.
Well, what's Brinket making? Brinksy's making 7.875. I'd probably put him similar to that.
I was gonna say 3x8.
Yeah, that's right around there.
Maybe 9 because you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna have to pay a little bit, overpay.
Yeah, but
you want
that's
less
the other.
term.
That's the other thing too. Like Guentzel, what would you say he's gonna be 30 this upcoming year? Right?
Yeah.
So he's not going to likely be on the team when we're like more competitive.
Well, it could be the last. Depends on when that window is. I mean, it could be in the back end of his last year or two.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, are you going to be wanting to spend this much money on like a guy that's not going to really be a core piece, but also like a few years down the road, if the cap really goes up, is it going to hurt you that much?
Or I think another way to look at it too is he the type of player that you can throw that money at, knowing he probably won't be there when the competition, like when the team's competitive, but he's the type of player that's going to help get the younger players into the position that they need to be ready to compete.
Yeah.
Is that worth, taking a hit? Because also the thing you got to realize, we got to keep in mind too, is in 2 years, Bedard, not Kershaw, well, Kershaw next year, but Bedard, Nazar, and Korchinski are all going to need deals.
Yeah.
And those are three big names. If everything pans out as projected, that you're going to want to be locked down and all that. So it's like, you got to keep that in mind. But when you look at there being $32 million of cap space.
Yeah, but if you're Jake Guentzel, you're probably looking for like a 5 to 7 year deal if it's not in Carolina. And if you're getting your rights traded, that's the other thing that I get so confused. Like they can't sign you to an 8-year deal if your rights are traded, right? That's why there was the sign and trade for like Matthew Tkachuk.
I think you have to be on the roster. It's like the trade deadline.
Okay.
So it's like, I think as long as you're on the roster before the trade deadline ends,
yeah,
you're eligible for an 8-year.
So unless they do like some sort of sign and trade for an 8-year deal, I don't think Jake Guentzel would be interested in anything less than like 5 years. Unless you're going to unless you're in a position as him and you're like, I want to win a cup this year, so I'll take less for a 1-year deal to be in like fucking Toronto or some shit. Because that's what like Domi did. That's what Bertuzzi did. Like those 1-year contracts where you're like, let's fucking give it a shot with this team for this year and like see if we can do it. But if you're him and it's not that kind of a year for you, you're probably looking 5 years, like minimum.
Would you be willing to go long term with him if it's for a decent cap hit? Like, you're not overpaying. Like, KD is able to sell him.
Like if it's 5-on-5, 5x5.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if KD's able to like sell him on the fact like it's going to be tough the season next year, third year, we're going to start really pushing for that playoff spot.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he buys into what's being built in Chicago. A lot of people are talking short term for him, but it's like, is he the type of player that you want to offer long term? Because then it's like, you almost gotta want, like, it's such a weird time with free agents too, because like this year's class, it's got some names, but it's not great. Next year's only got a couple big names. And it's like, if you swing and miss this year and you swing and miss next year, then you're really just shooting yourself in the foot, going forward. And especially if this team's ready to take a next step. So it's like, you got to, I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Because like next year you had Tavares, Marner, Mikko Rantanen,
Draisaitl. Marner's only available next year if he isn't already traded and signed to an extension wherever he's at in Utah.
Right. Rantanen would be a cool option, but then you're in the same situation as Jake Guentzel, where he'll be going on 30 the following year, like the following season. Obviously got Leon Draisaitl, but who knows how if he's even going to hit. And then everybody else, you're just getting age. Brock Besser will be 28. Nick Ehlers will be 29.
Yeah, and like those guys in that age range are probably still a year to 2 years like ahead of like when we would actually need them.
Yeah.
Because it's like you sign those kinds of free agents when your core pieces that you've drafted are like about to take you into the playoffs and you just need those complementary pieces.
And then if you push it, say you swing and miss this offseason, you swing and miss next offseason, you get to next year or the third year free agents. You got Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Kaprizov, Patrick Laine, Jason Robertson, Kyle Connor, who are going to all be like in that 29, 30 range. Except Robertson, he'll be 26. I can't see Dallas letting him go. So it's like, what do you do? It's like, I guess that's the thing. It's like, what do you do? Do you take the chance this offseason and just build on that and then just build your team through your, your system? Or do you just continue to do 1-2 year deals and just kick the puck down the ice, another year?
I feel like Steven Stamkos is the answer. That's about it. Yeah, it's tough because, like, did you mention Reinhardt at all?
No, he's available this year, right?
Yeah, and like a guy like him, I feel like is such a trap because he had like a fantastic year, which is like something I was saying Montour was gonna have because he had such a good season before, but then he started the season injured. But like 57 goals, 94 points, like the second time in his career he's a point per game player. Just fucking exploded in goals though. But like a lot of that, like I'm really starting to believe so much of that is contributed towards like Barkov just being insane.
Yeah.
So
but,
like,
hey, could Bedard be Barkov for him and just keep setting him up?
Yeah, that's right. Like that could be possible. He's gonna put in a lot of power play goals, but somebody's gonna just overpay this kid. And maybe I'll just be completely wrong. He'll just go back to back 50 goal years, but like 50 goals is fucking hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, and Florida's going to be in a situation where with their cap too, so they got to really hope they close this series out here. But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because there's so many different directions that you can go that Kyle Davidson can take this team and how he wants to build it. And I kind of hate him for saying that this team is ready. Like it's time to take the next step because it's like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, right.
And it's just time's moving too slow. Like, I mean, we'll obviously come draft time and open a free agency. I mean, the answer is going to come out, but it's like right now, it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. I wish I knew more.
Yeah. So, another player that's available, that seems like they're going to go to free agency is Elias Lindholm. He turned down what was like an 8x9 or 8x10 with Calgary, and then reportedly turned down a 7x7 with Vancouver. Yeah. So he is going to be available. I don't hate the idea of him coming in, but like you said in a group chat, he'll end up being a third liner, and for what he wants to get paid, I mean, if he's turning down 10 million and he's turning down 7 million already, he's pricing himself out of playing in Chicago.
Well, it's not like that. It's the term that he wants, right? So I'm sure he wants a 7-year deal and 7 fucking 7, 8, 9 million.
How old is he?
He's 30, I think.
Oh, he's already up there. So yeah.
But yeah, the fact that he wants term and a good chunk of change, it's just like by the time the Hawks are competing and like ready to make the playoffs and like him to really be contributing, he's not going to be contributing like worth that value.
Yeah, and so he'll be 30 December 2nd.
Yeah, so just be like not worth it because you're going to probably want, like I was saying before, like you're going to put that money towards like your guys that you're bringing up in the system, Bedard and Nazar and all that.
I think, I mean, we'll probably talk about like more after the draft, kind of like free agency preview. I think if he's going to take a swing, you need to look at Guentzel. You need to look at probably Patrick Laine, like those type of guys to bring in. I don't think Lindholm. I think we have enough players in our system that are getting ready to make the jump. I mean, you're gonna get a full season of Frank Nazar or Nazar. You're gonna get a full season of Slaggert. Like, I don't know, we're in a good position. It's a good position, but it's just like we said. What the fuck does it mean? Take the next step. That's where we're at with it.
Like if Florida wins, I mean, I'm assuming, if Florida wins, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. But like a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko could come in on like a 2-year deal.
I was thinking him too, because I kind of forgot about him until I saw like game 2, and I was watching game 2, and he popped up on the screen, and I was like, That wouldn't be the worst idea. And I also wouldn't hate bringing back Domi.
Yeah, it's guys that aren't going to be like the big sexy names or anything. Like, I mean, maybe you give somebody like Victor Arvidsson a shot who has had injury issues, and like he can maybe contribute a bit more. I don't even know like if he's still fast as shit, but he was fast as fuck before. Like Alexander Wenberg, like you can get like the not sexiest names in free agency that will probably be more willing to sign like a 1 to 2 year deal.
Right.
Where like the guys we've discussed are probably all looking for longer term.
True or false? Do you think it's a safe bet that there's going to be one sexy name that signs with Chicago this offseason?
Marchessault, maybe. Because he just won a cup. I could see the Hawks offering him. He's 33. The Hawks can offer him like a good $7-8 million deal for 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate him coming either, and it sounds like Vegas still hasn't talked with him.
Yeah, they have no fucking cap space for that.
Well, apparently they're going to add Mitch Marner, so
yeah, right. They're going to add Marner, and
who can the Hawks get from them
for free?
For future considerations.
Alex Pietrangelo.
Do not diss future considerations like that, man. He's brought a lot of big players to the teams.
Dude, Pietrangelo could easily come to the Hawks. It's always guys that are like in their mid 30s. He's 34. Or you can get like somebody like Braden McNabb.
Dude, you bring Pietrangelo to Chicago. He's got 3 years left at 8.8.
Yeah. You can even you know what would be funny because like I could see this completely happening is you can get Pietrangelo and just give them Connor Murphy. Because that still gives us like a spot for a young guy on the right side. You have Seth Jones and Pietrangelo on the right side of that too.
Doesn't rush Levshunov if they pick him too. It doesn't rush him. Feel it has to hurry up. Renzel can do another year at Minnesota. Doesn't have the rush and sign.
Crevier can maybe get some time there. They put Phillips there before. They can move Korchinski over or Kaiser over a little bit. But like you get somebody like Pietrangelo that can come in and spend the last 3 years of his deal on the Hawks. He would be a good mentor to a lot of those younger defensive guys.
What about like a Shea Theodore?
Yeah, I don't think they move on from him yet because he's still 28. It's all dude. They basically are playing fucking EA NHL with this team because anytime they're cap strapped, they move basically their oldest players.
Yeah.
They move Pacioretty. They move Fleury. Right now, Pietrangelo is their oldest guy, other than Marchessault, who they're not going to bring back because he's 33. And then after that, it's Mark Stone. Like, they will fucking move Mark Stone so quick. They do not give a fuck.
Why would they have to move Mark Stone when he's got the already built-in excuse that he's not going to play a full season?
That's true. He's probably going to stay there forever.
He'll probably play like 2 games or like the first couple weeks of the season and then go on LTIR the rest of the way and then be good if they make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, but watch out for them to move Pietrangelo so that they can bring in what's his face, Mitch Marner somehow.
I can't believe they got Thomas Hertl and they were able to get San Jose to retain.
Yeah, for like 7 years.
Like, God damn it.
Was it like a first?
I think it was
David Edstrom and a first. And is Edstrom their first overall pick this past season? This past draft? Yep. See you later.
To be drafted in the first round by the Vegas Golden Knights, just know don't buy a house in Vegas because you're going to end up being moved.
Yeah, they have 1 first round pick still that they have used. And I think it's Brendan Brisson. Everybody else has been traded away, which is hilarious. Is this right? Is it Brisson? Yeah.
Yeah, drafted in 2020.
It's just so funny. But yeah, if you're doing what? Oh man, actually, Chandler Stevenson wouldn't be a bad pickup for the Hawks too. He's only 30. He probably wouldn't cost as much. It's pretty fucking solid. We bring in Stevenson and Marchessault, though. You never know. There's a lot that they can do. It's fucking great having cap space.
Fucking William Karlsson's still on Vegas. That surprises me.
Yeah. Just he's got a few years left before
There's like 4 guys left from their expansion draft.
Yeah.
That's insane. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to digest right there, and I mean, there's gonna be a lot more to talk about as it gets closer, and you'll start hearing more names being available as you get closer to July 1, and then there's gonna be some big trades. I bet you Vegas makes a trade come draft day or around that time because they're gonna need to make the space. And
well, they have all summer to do it too, but
yeah, but they still have their first round pick, so I'm sure they'll use it to get Marner. Find a way to get Marner in there, so they can't.
No, they'll use the pick and then trade the kid afterwards.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. The other thing I have for Hawks talk here are 2 things. One, we mentioned New Jersey's 10th overall being available. It also came out at the combine that the 11th overall from Buffalo is also available. Buffalo's kind of looking for a top 6 forward. I think you can copy and paste what we talked about for the 10th overall and just plug it in for Buffalo. There's a couple players, Kurashev and 18 or Taylor Hall even, kind of swindle.
If either of those teams wanted like Mrazek, would you say
yeah?
Yeah. It sucks.
Considering some of the players that are available, like top 15 of this draft, and the more, I mean, we are going to have an awesome draft episode, I think, because we've been reading about these prospects.
Yeah.
And seeing what's available there, I want to be in the top 15, top 10 with a second pick if possible.
Yeah.
So anybody besides Bedard, Nazer, those guys, I mean, I'm good with moving.
I'm just trying to look at what UFA goalies will be out there if we ended up having to move, if we moved Mrazek for like a really good pick. It sucks, but you never know. You gotta fucking do what you gotta do sometimes.
Let's see. UFA goalie Matt Murray, Carter Hart, Samsonov, Dragic, Swayman, Lankinen.
Sort by wins. Cam Talbot, Ilya Samsonov, Nedeljkovic, Stolars, Scott Wedgwood, Laurent Brossois, Calvin Picard, Antti Ranta. Shit, I don't know. Out of everybody that's on this list, I would fucking go like Nedeljkovic or like Cam Talbot.
I was thinking Nedeljkovic. He played really well this year for Pittsburgh.
Yep. Stolars wouldn't be too bad either. But it's always this is just for a season or two if Mrazek's not here.
It's just, again, we're just trying to get to Drew Commesso and get those guys gauging.
Yeah.
To get ready and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think that's off season. I'm not attached to anybody on this team that is not penciled in to be a part of the future core.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's expendable to me. It's all about getting better and getting better quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep Nick Foligno for the rest of his career.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Nick Foligno. I mean, you need that locker room guy 100%. And the way he is adapted to the Chicago Blackhawks style and, redefining what it means to be a Blackhawk in the culture he's put in the locker room, you have to keep him.
Yeah. But you're pretty much right with everything else.
Yeah. So the last thing kind of sounds like the Hawks are going with Levshunov at 2. If you just take away from Combine, talk.
The only team to talk to him, apparently. Take him to dinner, get some drinks.
Get a couple beers, you know. He just seems like a cool guy. Like he seems like a kid who just loves life and almost seems like he should have been a goalie with his goofy. He's got that goofy personality.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a good fit on any team, really. Like nice kid.
Yeah. Probably should just shave his head. His hairline is
fuck man. What a tough look at like 17 years old.
Oh, he's I think 18.
Is he?
Yeah, freshman.
No, he's 17.
Really?
Yeah, 17. Well, on the draft guide, 17.882.
Jesus.
Or maybe that might be his draft age, actually.
I was like, he already played a year of college, so I figured he'd be at least 18.
No, that doesn't have to be the case.
Oh, he played, so he played for the Gamblers, he played for Michigan State. So again, we'll go more depth about draft picks and all that kind of stuff. Not next week, probably the week before of the draft. We'll talk about it. But I think that's where they're leaning, and I don't hate it.
Yeah, if you fuck me. I was gonna say, like, yeah, he's played a year of college, but like so did Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini is 17.
Oh shit. Oh, I just always assumed 18 was college.
Yeah.
Automatically 18. You know, you're in college, you're automatically 18.
That's what I think. Yeah, right? That's what it seems like. Once you bring it up, I'm like, whoa, that is weird. I never thought of that. What the fuck?
I even thought he was but then again, you could play USHL younger. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, oh, he may be 19, but no.
Yeah, that's should have been drafted last year.
So, you got anything else for Hawks talk?
No, man. I just wish we could find out what is going on in Kyle from Chicago's head.
Yeah, he's cooking, man. He is cooking, and I think we're in store for some big stuff coming here. And I'm excited, and it's really going to be get a good idea of what we have in the GM here and what he's bringing. Because I mean, he hasn't done bad so far, so got to assume it's going to be good.
He's been bringing the heat, which is great.
All right, wrapping up here with NHL talk. Couple quick things. Finance is taking over the jerseys starting next season, and it sounds like the LA Kings and Anaheim Ducks will be going through a rebrand. They're going to be centric around their 90s, theme style jerseys. So you'll have the Mighty Duck logo back again. And then the Kings are going to go more like that white jersey that they wore last year with like the crest. That's more like the King Crown crest more than the home plate crest. I think that's what it's going to be. So, then there was rumors that Minnesota was going to go to the North Star colors, and then Minnesota said no. So,
yeah, what the fuck?
And then Bucci with probably one of the worst takes, saying that they need to change everything, including the logo, because it's one of the worst. I think Minnesota, that's one of the few good things about that organization is their logo.
Yeah, they have a great logo, actually.
Yeah. Other news, the Washington Capitals became public enemy number one for armchair GMs everywhere.
Fuck the Capitals.
Officially today announcing that they will be acquiring CapFriendly, and it will be shut down potentially around July 5th. Hey, I mean, good for Washington getting the rights to the back end of it and all, but it's kind of crazy to me because people are freaking out about it. Teams are kind of scrambling to figure it out about where, like, how they're going to manage their cap and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, you're telling me the cap's been around for about 20 seasons now.
Yeah.
And teams still haven't developed something for themselves.
I mean, why develop something when you can just fucking use this for free?
But still, like, I don't know. It just seems crazy to me. Like, it's like this big, like, oh no, I can't believe this happened. It's like, it's like the cap's brand new. You could have been planning for this the entire time and working on a system that works for you.
I hate that the Capitals did this. Fucking assholes.
Losing one of our favorite sites.
Yeah. Literally one of my favorite sites. I fucking check it all the time.
It's so like that's what I love about CapFriendly. It's so easy to go through everything and how quickly we're able to pull up what we're looking for, free agents, contracts, and all that kind of stuff. At least Puckpedia as like the lone website for salary cap information, and it's a little bit more complex to work with. But I do like it because I do feel like there's more information on there. They do a good job kind of explaining what everything means.
I also forgot about Puckdoku too. Let's do that.
Yeah, they do Puckdoku. They do a cool thing too, like a pyramid one.
Oh, really?
Now too, yeah. It's like you start with one team, and then it's like one team, and then okay, so a player from that team that had X amount of games, and then a player on that team X amount of games, and also played AHL. It's like it's really cool, like a cool version of it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
I gotta find that.
Yeah. There's that, and then lastly, Stanley Cup final. Florida Panthers took a commanding 2-0 lead on the series. Bobrovsky is just playing out of his fucking mind, minus one shot in the second game.
Yeah, the first shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, Tanner, you might be onto something about the 4-game sweep.
Hey, man, it's literally the worst team that they're going against in the fucking cup final out of all the teams that they played.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is insane.
Florida definitely has an advantage because they had the easier path to the cup. Not saying like they had easy games or anything like that, but it's like you're saying talent-wise, the teams.
Florida?
Yeah.
I think they don't have the advantage going through easier teams. Is that what you just said?
I mean, the only really difficult team they faced was the Rangers, no?
No, they went through Tampa and then Boston. Like, Tampa's fucking good. They have Vasilevsky. Kucherov just ended the fucking year as, like, a Hart Trophy winner, basically.
See, I think that they handled those series way better.
Because Florida's really fucking good.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I don't think, they had, their path to the final was a lot easier than Edmonton's was.
I think that their path was tougher, but their team is just so good because they faced tougher teams. Like Edmonton did not face the caliber teams that Florida did, and they struggled during that.
Because Edmonton had what? LA?
Yeah. Vancouver and then Dallas.
Vancouver pushing to 7 with a third string goalie. Dallas should have beat them.
LA just doesn't really exist offensively.
Yeah. I don't know. So.
Yeah, man. Florida's just too fucking good.
Are we talking about
best team of all time?
Next time we record, are we talking about Game 5, or are we talking about the Florida Panthers being your Stanley Cup champion?
It's definitely Florida Panthers being the Stanley Cup champion. I'm still on that. They're going to win in 4.
I'm hoping Edmonton wins the next one, and then, or no, I hope Florida wins Game 3, Edmonton wins 4, and then they go home back to Florida and win Game 5. So I'm right.
No.
All right,
that's okay.
That's all I got for today. You got anything else?
No. Just ready for these last 2 games, and then draft, baby. It's only a few weeks away.
Yeah, next week we'll see what we got going on with the Stanley Cup, and then the following week will be draft week. I mean, draft's the 28th and 29th of June, so it's 2 weeks from this weekend. So,
which is my son's and my wife's birthdays.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's all right. They know.
They know what's important.
They know.
Oh shit! And free agency is on a Monday this year.
Yeah, isn't it kind of crazy how that all just fucking?
They're really pushing this to be all like in one See, they need to go back to like a week between the draft and free agency. I like that better.
I don't know. I'm fine with it. Just like right off the rip, you get all this off-season goodness.
Boom, 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 and then it's like 3 months of nothing.
Yeah, and then Lou Amarillo was like, "Oh yeah,
oh shit, I gotta do something." All right. So yeah, check. Oh, episode 277. What are you calling it?
I don't know, man. Fucking R.I.P CapFriendly.
R.I.P CapFriendly.
Yeah, why not? RIP.
All right. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Big Two. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, social media at WCB Podcasts, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, love you, boys. Bye.